Let's learn about patients' rights and education. Patients' rights and education two standards. One is patient rights and another is patient education. The NABH patient rights and education chapter aims at roles, rights and responsibilities are defined, same is informed with the patients, and staff are aware of this and make every effort to protect patients' rights. Patient rights are documented, displayed, and support individual beliefs, values, and involve the patient and family in decision-making process. Patient rights include respect for personal dignity and privacy during examination, procedures, and treatment. Patient rights include protection from physical abuse and neglect. Patient rights include treating patient information as confidential. Patient rights include obtaining informed consent before carrying out procedures. It includes information how to voice a complaint and also on the expected cost of the treatment. Patient has a right to have access to his or her advance patient about the expected cost of treatment and the cost that can incur on periodic basis. Enable access to clinical records. Hand photocopy of clinical record within 72 hours if requested. Rights should be displayed in prominent location and staff should be provided training to ensure. Provide curtains in general wards. Provide privacy in operation rooms. On OP where patient is consulted a doctor OPDs. Avoid focusing CCTV cameras on patients in patient care areas. Examine patient after explaining. Maintain confidentiality. Obtain consent. Address patient with respect. Then list from what constitutes the neglect or abuse. Take special precautions to protect vulnerable patients. Adopt mechanisms to handle neglect or abuse. Provide contact details of a master where a complaint can be raised. Provide printed forms and drop a boxes to write and paste the complaint. They maintain confidentiality, protect patient information from unauthorized usage, avoid patient-related discussion in common places, do not mark HIV status, avoid documenting medical termination pregnancy, MTP patient details, use form for MTP patients, avoid witness when taking consent. Provide bilingual consent form, explaining by language patient can understand, get patients and witness signature, registration or admission team can obtain general consent for OP and before its admission. Apex manual should have documentation of areas and procedures where privacy should be ensured, policies on protecting patients from physical abuse or neglect, policies on maintaining confidentiality, on storing consent forms under retention period, for mechanism for handling patients' complaint. Audit reports should include consent should be audited for completions and document. Patient rights include respect for personal dignity and privacy during examination, procedures, and treatment. To ensure that patient personal dignity and privacy are respected in every point of view, document policy on areas and procedures where patient requires privacy across the organization. Train concerned healthcare providers on the aspects of provisions of privacy. Patients' right display board on prominent places to have this information. Privacy of patients should be provided at all areas of patient care. Screen for patients in general wards which should be put on when patient is being examined, also when the patient desires to while sleeping. Change rooms in X-rays and other procedure areas in open with adequate privacy for patient privacy when the patient is considered. No CCTV monitoring should be focusing on patients. Maintain confidentiality and avoid discussion of patients in public areas. Consent must be taken for clinical. Patients' rights include protection from physical abuse to ensure that all patients, especially the vulnerable, are protected from all forms of document policy in protect patients from physical abuse and neglect. List out those constitute neglect or abuse. Special precautions shall be taken especially to prevent neglect or abuse of mechanism to handle and retrieval system should be in place if abuse occurs. Staff training on protection of patients from abuse should be in place. Patient rights should display board on proportion places to have patient rights include treating patient information as confidential to ensure that all patient information is document policy in protecting patients information confidential. Train staff on maintaining patient information. Protection of patient charts or case sheet attending medical records from unauthorized usage. Patients' right display board on prominent places to have this information. Patient-related discussions by the staff should be avoided in common. Patient rights include obtaining informed consent before carrying out. To ensure that informed consent is obtained appropriately before treatment or a. Patient rights include respect for personal dignity and privacy during examination, procedures, and treatment. Examine patient after explaining. Maintain confidentiality. Obtain consent. Address patient with respect. Then list from what constitutes the neglect or abuse. Patient rights include respect for personal dignity and privacy during examination, procedures, and treatment. To ensure that patient personal dignity and privacy are respected in every point of view, document policy in areas and procedures where patient requires privacy across the organization. Train concerned healthcare providers on the aspects of privacy in protecting patients from physical abuse and neglect. List out those constitute that constitute neglect or abuse. Special precautions shall be taken especially to prevent List the situation requiring consent, who will take consent, who will give consent in Apex manual. Consent for treatment to be obtained on first time registration as outpatient and before each hospital. General consent is the consent for admission, investigation, and examination. List of consents should be available for various high risk processes. Consent has to be taken before the procedure. Who takes the consent, when to take the consent, and language should be mentioned. He or she must witness the signing procedure, that is, the witness and sign the forms with date, name, and address. During consent, patient must explain about the procedures and the complications and benefits. Consents will have to be audited for completions. Patients right display board on prominent places to have this. Document policy for patient consent in Apex manual, training records, audit reports, and patient rights include information how to voice. Ensure to convey information to the patient, the mechanism to voice or patient right display board prominent places to have this information. Can provide drop boxes with printed forms to display telephone numbers, email IDs, social network, person to be contacted, or webmaster when a complaint has to be raised. Procedure to be documented. Documented policy of how to voice a complaint and complaint manual display board contain the information, evidences of redressal and patient rights include information on the expected cost of to ensure to convey cost information to patient on treatment. Patient right display board on prominent places to have this information. Mechanism to be placed to explain the patient or the immediate relative about the various costs that can be incurred during the procedure and on a periodic basis. Printed estimate. Display of patient rights, tariff rate estimation to patients if applicable. Patient has right to have an access to his or her clinic. To ensure that the patient is aware of his rights, to have a copy of his to have a procedure where the patient can have access to his or her clinical record when required. Photography of the record has to be handed over. Document policy in Apex manual, display of patient rights and patient and families have a right to information and education about their healthcare needs. Patients and families are educated on the plan of care, prevent expect possible complications, expect results and cost as applicable. Patients are taught in the language and format how to implement patient rights education to educate the patient, explain the language patient can understand, adopt simple format, and avoid technical mechanism of or procedure regarding who will explain, educate the plan of care should be in place. Prevent expect possible complication, medication cost, periodicity should mechanism of procedure to be documented. Who will explain and educate plan of care, periodicity should be in place to assess the education models, posters, pamphlets can be educative pamphlets, educative videos, and to be documented patient charts, the information of the education given and contact signed by the patient or his or her patient education brochure could be the evidences. Patients are taught in a language to ensure that the patient to have documented patient education methodology and in patient language format of education to be simple, either orally, audiovisual, posters, or pamphlet. Patient education brochures and patient